working on heat this afternoon. So I've got the sleeves on, no fans on. So I was just checking my core app. I achieved 100% heat champion this week finally. And I've already have 2.7 of a heat training load. That's out of 10. So I don't need to really overcook this session. I need to make sure I don't overdo it and send myself too far. So I'm gonna prioritize getting hot and staying hot without having to work too hard and also not being there too long. So I'm gonna let myself heat up naturally. Other times I will, I'll ramp the watts up and get my temperature up and high so that it gets there and stays there. Today I'm gonna let that process happen naturally so that I don't have to push too hard and I get a really good warm up in and I'm not too long in a high zone. So that's what I'm doing. The iPad is updating, of course. I'm just getting everything fired up. Power meter's going. This is 11 days out from Race Across the West. And I'm getting super excited for that race. I've been putting in a lot of work this year for ultra racing, and this is one that when I started the year, I actually wasn't even planning on racing. Last year, after I finished Hoodoo and found out that I was, in fact, an ultra racer, meant to be an ultra racer, I looked at what races to do, and of course Ram is like cream of the crop. It's where the ultra racers want to go, and I'm not ready for Ram. It's too much in all of the ways, and so I did find out about RAW, and I thought, which stands for Race Across the West, and I thought that would be a good stepping stone to be my next thing that I try for. So I decided to do it, and this was last year. And then I looked into all that it would take: crew, cost, time, and thought, there's no way. I can't justify that much money. I can't justify that much time. My training to this point have been highly focused on supporting my life with a family and balancing that. And so I thought, it's just not gonna happen. So I wrote it off. I thought I'm gonna do some other races that are more attainable for me currently and see where that takes me. And that took me to Sebring after having a really good 24-hour training session in December on Zwift. That was really strong and I was very proud of. And I got done with Sebring, broke records, did amazing, over the moon, satisfied with where I was at, what was happening, and what it meant for me. So I took another look at Race Across the West and thought, there's no way, if I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna take on ultra racing, and if I'm gonna try and be the best that I can be in that, since that's what's calling my name and what's attainable for me, I need to do this. So talked it over with my wife. We looked at all of our commitments in life and came to the conclusion that, yeah, this is the next step for me and I need to go all in for it. In between there, I took a little, not detour, I planned out my year and thought I had time for one race before Race Across the West and did the online virtual records. So that's what got me into Race Across the West. And one of the things about Race Across the West is that it goes through the desert. And as I started to do my research, if you learn anything about me, it's that I will do my research. I will figure out what's the best way to do the event that I'm looking at. So I did that and found out heat was going to be a major factor. In fact, I was told and read that heat was the #1 reason why people would drop out of RAM and Race Across the West. So I did my research. What can I do about it? How can I cool myself? How can I get ready? Learned about core, learned about heat training, learned about the benefits for heat, as well as blood and body adaptation outside of it, and thought I need to do that. Got my hands on a core sensor, and here I am. 3 weeks later, many heat sessions, which are miserable, by the way. I used to train and do all of this purely for joy. Purely because it brought me what I wanted to have. And now I do it to get as far as I can, to do as much as I can. And part of that process now means that I have to make myself extremely uncomfortable. Not so that racing is more comfortable, because racing at a point should always be miserable. Otherwise, did you really pull everything out of yourself? But to make myself faster, better, and to take what I already have as a base, fitness, fueling, mental, genetics, all these factors that already add up for me, and add on top of it, make myself faster. So heat is one of those. And I should total up the number of hours of heat I've done. It would have to be ballpark 15 to 20 by now in 3 weeks. Most of them like this, in the afternoon, having already done a morning session, and when this room is warmer, going for it. 77 in here right now. I will heat this open room to over 80 by the time we're done, and I will be drenched. So that's where we're at. And this is part of my preparation for Race Across the West. This is the only chance I'll have to vlog something today, because my wife is coming back home from a 5-day volunteer retreat. She's going to be the president of a volunteer organization next year, and this was their annual meeting, retreat. I don't know if retreat's the right word, but conference, for sure. So here's what you got. This is what I am doing 11 days out to get ready for Race Across the West. Pushing myself mentally still. I didn't want to finish the ride this morning. No way. I was done. I almost convinced myself to bump down the power, but I just kept the foot on the throttle, let the body do its thing, and now I'm here. And this, surprisingly, I actually want to do a little more, because I am healthily scared of the heat. Not that I couldn't survive it, not that I couldn't make do, because I've done that, but because I want to still perform it. And this has already been a game changer for that. So here I am, just trying to keep myself adapted and gain any more adaptation I can before the race starts. I basically have a couple more days of intensity, of intense training, I should say. I'm not gonna do a whole bunch of intensity, but this is my time to top off the tank before I fill up the tank and the reservoirs and everything, so I can go and empty it in a nice little trail from Oceanside, California, through the desert of Borrego, through the no-man lands of Arizona, right through the land of my ancestors, Navajo Reservation, and into Durango, Colorado. Hope you come along the journey. Hope I can show you how I am pushing myself so that you can as well. 7 minutes in, 99, core, 95.3 skin. It's already fairly hot. And yeah, 11 days. Let's go.